Hey guys, welcome back. John Megacycle here, doing a YouTube recording and Twitch stream for Super Nintendo Throwback. I don't, doesn't matter the day. I'm playing one of my favorite old all-time RTSs, Utopia, The Creation of a Nation. This one is kind of on par and a little bit in the way of introduction. I've already done a few episodes of this, but we want to take on for today the hardest level in the game. It's one that I've been itching to get back to, and I'm glad that I have the opportunity to do so. And this is like, if I had to explain it, it's like SimCity versus aliens in space is really the way I'd think about it. I did several episodes with Benzar 4. We just took a middle stab, tried to grab something in the middle, and now we're going to go all the way to Gamma Lucra. These are all rated on, the way I understand it, these are all scenarios based on difficulty, practice of course being the easiest, and Gamma Lucra being the most difficult. So I guess without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. I've done several episodes of this already, as I mentioned. We do have this live on Twitch, and these recordings will be on YouTube later. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. If you're not familiar with this game, this is one of the defining RTSs that really got me into really RTSs. So we'll go with Gamma Lucra, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. Now, oh god, this planet is gnarly. We're going to go ahead and get started as always with some hospitals. We're going to need those for a better birth rate because you're not able to change the birth rate when the game starts. I don't know how much explanation I actually want to give to get the game started, but probably not going to be able to do much. Going to probably be a lot of frantic building stuff, getting stuff done, that kind of a thing. So right off the bat, I'll do maybe a little explanation. We have pause down here in the menu, spy reports, we have planetary, the radar and such, we can get a lay of the land. This has a bit of a breakdown based on, how the land is set up. There are several menus you can cycle through, different menus and map layouts you can see. The gray stuff is the stuff we can't build on, and everything else is either structures or whatever else. So that being said, that's about enough with that. Then we also have a build menu here. This has all the various structures. You saw me go ahead and hammer down some hospitals pretty darn fast. Then we also have our advisors over here. The advisors are broken down into 6 categories. We have the civil engineer that tells us what we have built, and also any sort of a thing. Medical facilities are limited, suggest you construct more hospitals. This has a bit of a breakdown of his requirements on civil stuff. So hospitals, workforce is handled by someone else, but we'll get to that. Head of research tells us about funds, things that we can put into our grants, also how we can increase our science level. We also have our colony administrator, which tells us how many of what resource we're producing, storing, and using at any given month. We have, of course, your advice, power shortages, of course. We have our financial consultant, which tells us how much money we're bringing in and pushing out, that sort of a thing. Of course, her recommendation, so you get a bit of a tip after every single one you talk to. We have our senior psychiatrist, which tells us more residential stuff, these and your workforce. So here's the people, here's the density, here's the birth rate, death rate, that whole thing. The advice is going to be a little crappy in the first month because you can see everything's all zeros, because the game refreshes all of its statistics on a per month basis. So realistically, none of this stuff is going to matter until the end of the first month, which is January. So the game starts, as always, with every scenario in January 1st, 2090. And then this last one here is our money. This is where we actually do our trade. We actually set up our grants, both military and spying and civil. I said both, and then I mentioned 3 things. This is also where we set our tax rate. And then we can see our workforce. This is our industry breakdown versus people and how much they're producing of what. And then the trade menu. Now, I'm going through this fairly fast, I get that. I'm not really treating this like a tutorial. I have really my first set of episodes on Benzar 4 is much better tutorial on how to learn and how to play. And then this is the menu. So we're all right round circle, so that's everything. So aside from that, I always blow up the launch pad almost right away because I don't ever see a need for it, at least not this early in the game. So right away we're going to go for some power construction. I don't want to go too far out. No, I still don't have enough. Okay. That's fine. We have our hospitals that are building right off the bat. I do want to get some residential online and maybe a... So how long does it take for hospitals, now that I'm thinking about it? Because we've already burnt a month. It'd be another month, and then I didn't check the other thing I went to check. How long for living quarters are 42 days. Let's get one security online. Security is important. That's what really is the police force. That's what really keeps your people in check and that sort of a thing. Okay, I'm happy with that. We're going to wait till everything's done, then we're going to build a power station. That's going to set us up real nice. First of the month is complete. Let's go ahead and check our trade. With the first month of trade, you could always get stuff on the super cheap. For in this case, gems at 3, weapons at 1, tech at 3. And the reason for that is everything is reset to 0 when you start, and then it slowly ramps up. So that being said, there's really not much else to do about that. We can pick up some cheap goods, which we did, and that's really about all there is to it. Let's see, how are our structures set up? Housing is down there. I don't want to build my power plants next to housing. I want to make sure that's kind of separated. So we're going to make sure that's the case. We're going to build off a little bit. First major project is going to be this power plant. After the month of February, we should be able to have some room for it. And then when that is the case, then we'll be able to go forward and set up other stuffs. Power is probably the most important. A lot of your other facilities don't function properly. Defensives don't function properly. A lot of other things are kind of messed up if you don't have enough power. And there's our hospitals. Can I build a power plant? Fantastic. I built this kind of far away, but that's okay. We're going to build a flux pod and a radar out here. Cool, and we have enough for all that. Another month is ticked by, so we're going to go ahead and check that out. First off is hospitals, though. Let's make sure we set that birth rate to high. There we go. Perfection. And we already have a surplus of food. I don't mind selling down food, even if it's at a low price. I always see that I have always a bunch of extra food. So let's stock up on gems. I can't buy fuel. I don't have storage, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Other housing. Nope. That power plant and that stuff I built over there has to get done first. Now, the reason why I set up a radar out here is because I want to make sure that the radar is used not only to see where your enemies are, but they're also used for, let's call it seismic penetration. I've heard in other games, or scouting, or whatever, but it's what it'll check the ground for resources for us. It'll actually scan the area after so long, and it'll tell us what resources are nearby. So there's a month done. Do I have enough workers now? Oh, cool. I have enough for 1, so that's a good start. Let's check our money. I want to add a little bit into spying. About 3,000. That should be enough. And the reason why I want that is because it's going to tell us the direction of where the enemy is at. And it'll help us bulk up a little bit. I'll still buy tech at 9. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so pretty much off the bat, once that power plant is ready, that'll sedate us electrically, whatever, and then we'll be able to get some more food production, and that's going to give us a nice leap up in the market. Oh, spy report in. That was quick. Alien cities discovered to the east of the colony, but have not yet entered the city, but will do so soon. It is difficult to determine anything about them from this distance. More details later. That's pretty standard. That's pretty much what we see every time the game starts. Now, what I know is what we're going to see. We're going to be up against the Gamma Lucretians, I think is what the actual alien race is called. Did I already trade this month? I thought I did. I've already done a lot of my explaining in another video, which is why I'm kind of taking this a little slower, or maybe a little faster. We'll be moving at a pretty solid clip, and I'm going to want a military up almost as soon as I possibly can. And in order to do that, we need a rich economy. So is there anything around here? I don't see any resources whatsoever, which I guess makes sense for now. I am going to want to branch out pretty soon and make sure that's something that gets taken care of. Oh, power shortage, of course, as expected. But we're not short enough that we can't trade. One of the things that can happen with a power shortage is your command center shuts down and you're unable to trade. Now see, we bought all that tech at 9 and cheaper, and now it's 12. So we've already made a profit if we sell this stuff. But I'm just going to hang on to it right now. Once that power station's complete, okay, great, and now we have a solar eclipse. Now, as I mentioned in the other video, I'll mention it again, no problem. This may be the first one you see, I don't know. Everything is calculated at the end of the month or the beginning of the month, depending on what you're thinking. So it's either like the 31st at the end of the day or the 1st at the beginning of the day. It doesn't really much matter, however that works. But that's how things are calculated and figured out. Okay, cool. Power plant's online. So that means at the end of May, we'll be back online. We've been really relying on solars. That's how the game kind of starts out. It's exactly how the game starts out, not even kinda. So we have residential setup. I want some workshops. You gotta ramp up slowly. That's how this works. Even if you build 100 workshops, which is where your people go and produce tech goods for you to sell, even if you mass produce those things, they'll only hire people at such a rate, if that makes sense. There's only so much a rate of growth that'll actually be filled in. Okay, power plant. There we go. Solar eclipse is over, but we have that new power plant, so now it recalculated and it's all nice and good. So we've got residential, we have security, we have a couple of workshops. Cool. And now I want to build at least one more hydroponic. That's going to keep our food ahead of the curve. Because we have the... Can I? No, I can't. Go frickin' figure. Okay, now we just need to wait and be patient. Let's go ahead and do our trade. Let's dump a few more into the spy grant. Nothing really good for selling. Buy gems at 15? Absolutely. Gems are one of the things that gets really high ramped up there. Spy report in. Wow, they are quick on that. Our spies have entered the city. We should be able to provide some intelligence to the aliens very soon. At the moment, our contact with our spies is very limited. Okay, so that cost me 3,000. Ah, you guys are jerks. Okay, we're in the beginning of the game. I don't mind ramping up the tax rate. The money that we get from taxes is critical. It's very important that we get that set up. So I've already traded this month. Go figure. We're going to build a hydroponic and maybe another workshop. Maybe just one hydroponic, and that's going to get us a nice start. So now that we have our basic foundation established, I want to do another flux pod, and I want to do another radar. Let's see, how about like over here? Okay, I have to be within 12 spots of a flux pod. Is this too far? Nope, that's perfect. Okay. And then un radar. Okay, very good. That's going to give us some nice area and coverage of what I'm going to be seeing, and hopefully that's going to get us some ideas on some resources. If I could even get like ore, fuel, I'll take any... Oh! Scaffold. Oh, I got so excited for a second there. That's the color if you're on the economics screen, like this one, where it has the breakdown of the resources. That's ore. That's the same color I was hoping for. But that's okay. So, whatever, fair enough. We're just going to wait for this stuff to get built. We have a little bit of cash. I don't want to dump it into turrets. What I'd really like is if we can get to tanks as fast as possible. But I don't really see that happening right now. Either way, we're just going to wait it out. There's really nothing to do as our colony is developing and stuff is really starting to get into high gear. Yeah, see, population density 40%. Once that starts ramping up, I'll feel a lot more comfortable about where we are. I just built a hydroponics, so that takes care of our food. I'm going to need another power plant soon with all my expansion, so that's fine. Okay, feeling pretty good about that. Now the problem is these guys are the most difficult in the game. If you really pay up your spy budget, what'll happen is you'll get notifications saying, "Oh my God, these are the Gamma Lucrians. This is nuts. I don't know if we're gonna stand a chance," or whatever. Like the verbiage gets pretty straightforward pretty quick. There we go. Flux pod, and then another radar would be great. Cool. We're getting a good amount of cash from tax. I don't want to really rely... Oh, there we go. Trade. That's exactly what I was going to get to. That's a good amount of cash at 19. That's pretty serious. We can pick up some gems, no problem. I'm not going to buy any more weapons or tech. I might sell that stuff later on. Well, I plan on selling it, considering how much of a killing we made on it. No resources at all around here. Let's take a stab down here if we can. Same setup. We're going to do a flux pod and a radar. How far can I go? Oh, there we go. That works for me. And a radar. Flux pods, what they do is they store electricity, so that's one important benefit. The other thing that's also important is they expand your build radius, which is the whole thing we're dealing with right now. What else do I want? Oh, power plant. I'm putting all my power plants off to the side, and the reason for that is they produce a lot of pollution, so I don't want them right next to residential. So keeping them a screen or two away is a good call, but I don't want to branch out too far. My fear is if I branch out way too far and that gets isolated and knocked out, I'm going to be one hurting puppy, that's for certain. Where the crap did I just put that radar and flux pod? Oh, okay. Yeah, alright. The first year of this game goes relatively slow, to be honest. And that's because you're waiting for stuff to get done, you don't have a lot of builders, there's a lot of things that just have to really fall into place. And end of the month. Ding-a-ding! Okay. Can't sell food, that sucks. I could sell gems at 32, we'd make a nice profit, but I'm still not really interested in just dumping it. We'll hang on to weapons and such. Okay, so we have a new radar. Let's see, do we see anything else? Still nothing? Seriously? I don't really know the rules with how long that might take for it to actually scan out. Like, I don't know if we just have to be patient, or if I'm just being impatient, or I'm not too sure what the deal with that is, but the more moral of the story is I need some economy here. Let's build up, I'd say, let's spread out a little bit here. So we have our residential node back there. We're going to build another node, let's say over here. And the reason why I kind of want this stuff a little separate is because there's meteors that could totally destroy our base. And I don't want that happening. I also wouldn't mind a lab or two. Let's get 2 labs. Perfect. So we have a power plant, we have more workshops. Let's do 1 more living quarters and 1 more hydroponics. And that's probably going to be enough for our internals for a while. Let's see, how far are we on stuff? Come on, the waiting. Yeah, come on. Too anxious. That's okay. End of the month. Realistically, we're going to have to maybe build another power plant, and then we're going to have to shift gears probably immediately to turrets. I'll buy gems at 43, sure. That stuff, the gems can get all the way up to like 105, 110, I think. Like, they can get pretty high up there, so I don't mind investing a little bit in our future, getting some gems on the cheap. Really, anything under, I'd say, 70 might be a good price. Let's do 2 more. Hydroponic again. And security. And then I'm done building stuff. Security is important. The big danger is when you wait too long on security, and then it's... it takes way too long for your police force to get recruited and trained. So the way these factories and everything works is it doesn't matter how many you build, there's only so many that can get recruited and trained every single turn. Can I build it now? Yay! Okay, cool. So there's that. We're going to save up for one more power plant, and then we're going to work defensively. That's the plan. Yes, of course. Already traded this month. You trade so frequently, at least I do. I try to trade as often as possible. And the thing is, I sometimes forget since it's really quick. I kind of forget how often I do trade. So this should be enough for a power plant. And it is, just barely. Not enough colonists still. Our quality of life is going to drop a bit. That's what happens. We have a 20% tax rate. I really don't see that changing. Oh, sell the food, sell the food, sell the food. I will sell tech at 24. That's a good price. Considering we got it for almost nothing, I'm happy with that. So we're going to wait to see if some of this other construction finishes up, and then we're going to build up that power plant. Okay, we have our lab. That's good. We'll get laboratory dudes, and we'll be able to start doing some research. So there's our power plant. I already traded this month. Oh, I can't remember. Crap. Okay, any sort of no resources at all anywhere. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to expand out... Are those all the structures I have? Crap. That's not a lot of stuff. That's okay. I'm used to having an overflowing, crazy, massive base. So let's see here. Where's our closest flux pod? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This should be the limit right here. So we're going to do that and a radar, and then we're going to start building up turrets. Not only are you against an alien culture, but you're also against the planet. Like I said, there are meteor strikes, there's a lot of things that can just happen, and that's what gets dicey. Is not only are we up against whatever they can throw at us, but we also have to be prepared for whatever nature can throw at us. Come on, end of the month, Johnny needs his paycheck. Ouch, quality of life went down 4%. That's gonna kinda happen. Is there nothing good to sell? Sell tech at 25? Sure I will. They give us a nice little bump. Now let's check the map one more time here. Dang. Dang, nothing. Anyway, we'll be okay. Now, I don't want to expand too far to build my first defensive line. What we're going to do is we're going to scramble and scatter a couple of turrets here in HQ. Because I think they can come from any direction. That's just where we're going to set up the base. It's just a waiting game. That's all it is. Being patient. Oh, not my strong suit, but that's okay. Radar online, please. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm really hoping we can get some deposits around here. Let's, before we get too more crazy, let's see if we need anything else infrastructure-wise. Plenty of power. We're going to have 150 power production. That's more than enough. And then 32 is coming from the solar panels. Still good on food, still good on air. I'm going to want another one pretty soon for redundancy. Plenty of residential complexes. I'm happy with all that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to wait until we have that enough cash. And then, like I said, set up some turrets. There we go. Radar. I'll take anything. Freaking nothing? Grumble, 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 grumble. Okay, anyway, paycheck. A little bit in civilian, a little bit in military, get some of our research set up. That's really going to help. That's going to be scanners to get more ore. And, oh yeah, money. Yes, I'll sell the weapons at 25. That's going to get us the scanners, and what they'll do is they'll scan the planet and they'll tell us where resources are available, which is great. Automatically, we won't have to build radars everywhere. So a turret there, a turret here. Like I said, I want maybe 5 or 6 turrets HQ side, so we're not completely defenseless. Let's also check our workforce. 12 in the workshop, 13 in the hospital, 7 in the lab, 13 security. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. I can't tell you how many times when I started playing this game, what I would do is I would just build all of the stuff I needed way too late. And by that, I learned the lesson way too late. I was trying to think of this into the story. I built this stuff way too late, not realizing that it takes time for the workforce to actually show up to work. You have to actually train them. So I would be like, oh crap, I didn't build enough security. So I would build 20 security facilities, and then it's like, it's ineffective for like a year until they're all filled in, and then I have way too much of my idle population in security. So like 90% of my population would be police force. Yes, okay, better pollution control is awesome. So that's just an example. Like you want to have the structures built continuously. I will sell gems at 87. That's a good price. Now you guys need to buy stuff from me. I don't want to buy crap from you. Okay, let's check our radar real quick. I can't tell you how irritating this is to scan this much of the planet and not find a drop of anything. But that adds to the difficulty. Like I said, this is the hardest campaign, or whatever. The hardest scenario. That's what they're called. This is the hardest scenario that's available on this game. So I don't mind that we can't find resources. Yeah, I don't really want to defend all the way out there. Like I said, we're just gonna 2 more turrets and then we're gonna move on. Now I do want another air supply facility, because actually we're gonna take a break from turrets and we're gonna build a life support. Nothing shuts your game down faster than having your population nothing to breathe. There we go. Especially when it's a critical facility like that if they take out just one of them, you're screwed. Like that can't be worse. Oh, sell tech at 27. Yes, and that just afforded me another turret. Thank you. Sell gems at 79. Yes, thank you. Perfect. Happy with that. Another turret on the way. Turrets are insanely power hungry. It is unnerving how much electrical juice gets sucked up by a spinning little thing. But it shoots lasers. It's a laser turret. I mean, it makes sense. But still, like, when you're just trying to start out, you need so many of these mega monolithic power plants. What's that? Gun turrets, okay. Yeah, so 3 there, we'll do 2 here, 1 here, that's enough to get us started. Yeah, no deposits or anything yet. Again, grumble grumble. Please see figure 1.1, grumble grumble. And that's okay. These months are going a little faster, and the game is moving a bit faster too, because I'm not explaining so much this go around, so that's alright. So even though I'm broadcasting live on Twitch, I am recording these on YouTube, so I would like to break these into logical episodes. So even though I talk that way, I'm not stopping the Twitch broadcast, but you know, if you hear me sign off or whatever, that's why. So I think we're going to finish up, this is March, and then we're going to finish up April, and that's going to be good for a first episode for YouTube. More on the rambly, ranty stuff. I kind of like to break them down into 30-minute episodes. I think that's the most logical if I'm doing a long campaign or a long game like this. I think like an hour or 2 hours an episode, you kind of get lost in translation. It's hard to pick up where you were. As a viewer, like when I go and I watch someone else's episodes, like if there's a 1 hour big matchup or tournament, yeah, it makes perfect sense. But if it's something like I'm really interested in and I want to come back to later, and it's like, okay, I have to remember the episode, not a big deal, but I have to remember exactly where I was. maybe also not a big deal, but for me, I like the kind of a breakup. So we're gonna finish out April. Did I do my trading? I don't even remember if I just did trading. Yeah, okay, thanks. You already traded this month! It's all in caps, so I think it's shouting at me. Quit trying to trade! Okay, alright, jeez. Anything on the radar? Anything on the freaking radar? Nope. Lame. That's okay, I'm not worried. The reality of the matter is we can have a pretty robust economy just with what we have, even if we don't find resources. And even, I mean, if we don't find resources immediately, we have food that can be sold. We can generate tech goods, T-E-C-H, I think I said that wrong. We can generate tech goods from our workshop, so that's another commodity. And we also get taxes. So here's April as promised. We're going to do our trade real quick, and then I'm going to call this an episode. Let's see here. Oh, you need to buy more food for me. Yes, I'll sell tech. Yes, I'll sell gems. Right now, it's all the dollars I can scrape. Turret there for good measure, and turret... Did you get my order? Okay, you did. Very good. Okay, that wraps this up nicely. Thanks for joining me, guys. Utopia, Creation of a Nation, Gamma Lucra. And I will see you next time.